morning, everybody. I know that my screen says that I am Natasha, but I am not Natasha. It is Mia Morales. We had some technical difficulties this morning, so she's letting me use her computer. But welcome to our SBDM September webinar. So a couple things we're going to talk about today. We're going to go over information for the 2024 Continuous Improvement Summit, comprehensive improvement planning for schools, the superintendent annual attendance report, minority document, SBDM implications for schools identified for comprehensive and targeted support, an update on the school report card, council verification data, and then finally success stories of effective partnerships. The 2024 Continuous Improvement Summit will be happening this month, September 23rd and 24th at the Central Bank Center in Lexington. You're going to hear from keynote speaker Mark Abraham on what a transformational leader is in he provided world-class educational experiences that ensured all students achieve their goals of post-secondary college and fulfilling their careers. So during this time, you will enhance your professional learning, make new connections, and build upon existing relationships with peers across Kentucky, hear update information from KDE leaders, and learn how Cognia can help address your unique challenges in your journey of continuous improvement. The early bird pricing did end at the beginning of this month, but you can still register to attend. So we talked about this a little bit last month, but new school year, we're thinking about our comprehensive school improvement planning. The phase 1 is due October 1st. If your school is operating a Title I school-wide program, this comprehensive school improvement plan meets the requirements of the Every Student Succeeds Act, as well as state requirements. So there's no separate school-wide program plan required. You can find the timeline for school improvement planning in the regulation 703 KAR 5225. And you can find more information about the planning phases in general on the Comprehensive School Improvement Planning website. And you will also hear more information about the phases at the 24-25 Continuous Improvement Summit. So the SAR document has been updated and it is live on the website. So this just, it breaks down by schools, which schools require minority representation because they meet the 8% threshold. You are welcome to use the SAR data, or you can use your internal data based on the preceding October 1st. So you'll be looking at October 1st of 2023 to see if your minority population reaches 8%. And if it is at least 8%, then you do require minority representation on that council. If the school has been identified for comprehensive support and improvement, and they have at least 8% minority student population, they need minority representation on their ALT, so on their advisory leadership team. So even if the school doesn't have an SBDM currently due to its status, they still may require minority representation on their ALT advisory leadership team, dependent on the population of that school. And that sort of leads me into this slide, SBDM implications for schools identified for targeted and comprehensive support. So schools that have been identified as CSI, their SBDM council power is suspended and transferred to the superintendent upon the release of the audit findings. And if the school exits CSI status, they do not automatically get their council reinstated. So the statute of KRS 163-46-15 says that a school that has been identified as a CSI but exits its status may have their council restored by the Board of Education 2 years after the school exits status. So if the school exited status this year, right? So they wouldn't be able to have their council restored until 2026. And that's going to be done locally by your local Board of Education. If the school is identified as TSI, their council operates as normal. So there's no transfer of power to the superintendent in that case. I do sometimes get some questions regarding CSI and TSI and how it relates to SBDM. So I just wanted to take a second to see if anyone had any questions on this or really anything else. I'm happy to answer. Open the floor for questions.
Mia, in the past, you all have reached out to us to let us know that a council is or an ALT is eligible. Will you continue to do that?
Eligible for what?
To be reinstated by the Board of Education.
So yeah, so that's going to be listed on the document, the SAR document. It has at the bottom of it, so it has all the schools that, in their population. And at the bottom of the document, it says which schools are currently CSI status, which schools have exited, and which schools and when they would be eligible for reinstatement. So I'm going to defer you to that SAR document for that.
Perfect, thank you.
No problem.
Is there a minimum number of years once a school is identified as CSI that they will remain ALT?
So from my understanding, so like it would be at the minimum would be 3 years. So if a school gets identified in 2023, exits in 2024, because they would only exit upon the release of data, then they have 2 years following that, in which they would still have an advisory leadership team. So I would say the minimum would be 3 years. Does that logic and my math make sense?
Thank you. And is that in regulation?
So no, so the 2 years would be in regulation, but it's going to depend on how long the school is identified as a CSI school.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. So KRS 158-6453-20B requires the school profile report be available in the local Board of Education by October 1st with signatures of SBDM council members, principals, and superintendents. There is a change in the school report card vendor, so there's that time frame to complete the form is going to be a little bit shorter than previous years. So it's recommended that you review the school profile report collection tool guidance document that's attached, that's linked to the slide, and you guys will also have it in the PowerPoint slide as well. To make sure that you have an understanding of how this tool is going to work, and then once it's live, you'll be able to enter information. That is the extent of my knowledge on the school report card. So if you have any questions, I'm going to defer you to Karen Davison. You are more than welcome to still reach out to me. Just know that I will forward that question onto Karen Davidson. So KRS 163.45.6 requires council member training to be forwarded to the Kentucky Department of Education. So far, I've been sort of monitoring it every few weeks, and we have had 40 districts that have started to input their council member training. This is due November 1st. I think 40 districts is a really great head start. So I appreciate your work on that. if you are entering the information and you have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out. And I'm happy to walk you through it, either instructions through through email. I can call you. We can sort of meet through Teams, and you can share your screen with me, and we can get it all sorted out. All right, and then we have the success stories of effective partnerships. So we have a family partnership council, and they created some recommendations for the Kentucky Board of Education. And these recommendations are: support every school's efforts to form effective partnerships, promote greater alignment of KDEs and outside organizations, family partnerships and initiatives, and set the goals for the Family Partnership Council for the next 2 years. So to meet one of those goals, one of the things they're doing is collecting stories of successful partnerships that are happening out in your schools. So if you have any examples that you would like to share of creating trusting relationships with family as partners and how that relationship is making a positive impact on your students, please share all that good information in with the form, and those stories will be shared as a resource for other schools as well. So if you have anything that is like, yes, this is it, please share your information and story within the form. And that's what I have for today. I'm going to stick around to answer any questions that you may have. But other than that, I hope you all have a wonderful Tuesday.